This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
That's a little bit loud. That's a little bit better. Hi, everybody. It is the After Party Live, and here we are on Trivia Thursday. It's a great thing. It's a delicious thing. I'm going to be talking about birds. Bird trivia. How much do you know about birds? And famous historical figures. These are some of the topics I have arranged, and I hope that you'll enjoy playing along. We're a little bit late, so we should probably get straight to trivia. But before we do, I know we all loved that story recently about that little owl on the shelf that was so cute. Remember in an antique store? It was adorable. Well, now we have this guy. Right amongst the stuffed animals in this store is a possum. That's a real life looking possum because it's a real life creature that somehow decided to snuggle up with all the rest of the stuffed animals at an Australian airport gift shop. Don't reach in and try to grab that one. No. The shelf had the native animals, I should say, native to Australia. And there he is, this giant possum, fluffy looking, almost looks sweet when he's tucked in alongside the koalas and the kangaroos there. This is an Australian brush-tailed possum peering out from amongst the kangaroos at the display shelf at the departure terminal shop at the Hobart Airport in Tasmania State. Above the possum were bilbies, marsupials with rabbit-like long ears, dingoes, the kangaroos, and then you have this possum. It was reported first by a person who was a passenger or headed to be a passenger, reported it to one of the staff members on shift who couldn't quite believe what she was hearing. She then called the airport management and said, "We've got a possum in the store." The staff member took a video of the possum with her phone before the animal grew a little bit scared of the growing attention and actually left the shop on its own. The airport staff were then able to remove this possum unharmed from the airport. I think it's funny that it sought out like creatures. I'm just going to go snuggle up with the rest of the Stuffies. Well, there he is in the perfect spot until it wasn't so perfect. All right. It is Trivia Thursday, after party style. Are you guys ready for this? Let's go to the chat. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom. Big pointy teeth. Yeah, they are. That was really cute. American possums do have a pointier nose. It is cuter than an American possum, Sandy. I agree. It almost looked like it could be a stuffed animal. Pero no. Cute little furry. All right. A possum and the plushum. All right, let's go to trivia. The first question of the day. Who were the two scientists who discovered the shape of DNA? Who were the two scientists who discovered the shape of DNA? Do you know? I'll give you a second to answer. Two scientists who first discovered the shape of DNA. No clue, says Lass in Florida. But Uncle Jim knows. Crick and Watson is the correct answer. I have Watson and Crick. I will also accept Crick and Watson. And I have to say that I got an email from Uncle Jim earlier, not to interrupt trivia, but here I go interrupting trivia, who took issue with something that I said yesterday on the story of the little bull, the metal bull figurine. You remember that story we had yesterday? Uncle Jim writes, "On your show yesterday, you described a certain bull's head figure both as being more than 3,000 years old and also as dating from 550 to 123 BCE. But if you think about it," writes Uncle Jim, "you'll see that those things can't both be true. At least the way I learned arithmetic. 2026 plus 550 works out to rather less than 3,000. I noticed the article in Popular Science contains the same contradictory information. I presume you were quoting or paraphrasing from there. You are correct. Or from a similar source and didn't notice the inconsistency. I did not. I stand corrected. I retract. I accept your mathematical figures. And thank you very much for keeping us honest. So that's Uncle Jim, who then turns around and gets Crick and Watson. So he's on a roll, really, I would say. Nullifidian also has Watson and Crick. And thank you for the email, Uncle Jim. David and Alice, that's a good guess. Watson and Crick, says Granny Great. That's right. Watson and Crick, says John Watson. Absolutely. Chris Holm has it as well. Teacher Lori has it. Cricket, I'll take it. Or Crick, yeah. Donna has it. But there was a woman who really did it. She said, really? Oh, tell me more. Watson and Crick, says Heather. Has it. Good job, everybody. Well done. Okay. Women getting screwed again, says Eileen. All the time. Yeah, thank you, Uncle Jim, for the email and for the correct answer. I met Watson at a talk many years ago, said Heather. That's kind of cool. Nice. Okay, next question. See if you remember this. What was the name of the man who invented the car? The name of the man who invented the car, the automobile. Hello, Ricky. Hello, Yvonne. The name of the man who invented the car. I'll give you a second to get those answers in. It was probably a woman too, right? No, the name of the man that invented the car. Uncle Jim on fire says Benz. The answer is Carl Benz invented the car. That is correct. And going back to the chat, Uncle Jim has it. The gloomy Maine Coon has it. Mercedes, Carl Benz. It was a Mercedes Benz. I'll give it to you, Donna. Not necessarily his name, but you're very close. Who else? Not Ford. Yeah. Benz. I'll take Harry's answer. Nice. What kind of car though? Well, it was an old Benz, right? Okay, next question. How about this one? What was the name of the musician who died in a plane crash along with two other musicians and their pilot? The name of the musician who died in a plane crash along with two other musicians and their pilot. See what you think. Been a lot of musicians that died in plane crashes. I got a Benny Goodman. I got a Jim Croce. I got a Buddy Holly. Eileen is correct. That would be Buddy Holly is the name of the musician who died in a plane crash along with two other musicians and their pilot. We'll take it from Eileen. And then we got, is the Big Bopper also Buddy Holly? I don't know if that's his nickname. I'll say yes. I'll say yes to the gloomy Maine Coon. And then Uncle Jim has it. And so does Harry and Tammy and Sandy. I might have gone Richie Valens too, Mama. John Watson has it. What the Sizzle? Teacher Lori. Hey, Rhonda. Aloha. The day the music died. Yeah. Oh, Valens and the Big Bopper. Yeah. Yeah. Weird. How many? Okay. Next question. Famous figures. What is the name of the painter who made an abstract painting of the Spanish Civil War? I hope these aren't too easy. What is the name of the painter who made an abstract painting of the Spanish Civil War? And it's a bonus if you can name the painting. What is the name of the painter who made an abstract painting of the Spanish Civil War? And that would be bum, bum, bum. Yep, Pablo Picasso is the answer. And I think Uncle Jim was the first to the punch on that. Picasso is right. Uncle Jim had it. Eileen has it. So does Sandy. So does Jose Ramirez. So does Nola Fidian and teacher Lori. Tammy, Rhonda has it. Donna has it. So does, yeah, it's Guernica. That is right. Uncle Jim gets the bonus. He gets the question and the bonus. And so does Eileen. Look at you guys go. Harry Magnan has it as well. Guernica is correct. Harry Magnan gets the bonus. Nice. Well done. Who was the first emperor of Rome? Who was the first emperor of Rome? Was it? I'll give you options. Julius Caesar, Nero, Augustus, or Constantine? Who was the first emperor of Rome? Julius Caesar, Nero, Augustus, or Constantine? What do you think? A lot of answers rolling in. Who was the first emperor of Rome? Caesar, says Nulfidian. Julius Caesar. Some Roman dude. Caesar, says Wes. Julius Caesar, says Eileen. Augustus, says Katie Lynch. Augustus was the first emperor of Rome. Katie is correct. 'Tis not Spartacus. Gluteus Maximus. Chris has it as well. So we had Katie first to the punch, followed by Chris, followed by Harry. Augustus. He was named after hot Augustus nights in Reno, right? Yeah. Or Sparks or whatever it is. Yeah. Augustus. And we just passed the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March. What was the name of the Australian man who helped found the principles of psychoanalysis? What was the name of the Australian man who helped found the principles of psychoanalysis? Zero Sum says Caesar was the last ruler of the Republic. Mm-hmm. Did I say Australian? Because I meant Austrian. What was the name of the Austrian man, Austrian from Austria, who helped found the principles of psychoanalysis? Ready for the answer? And that would be Sigmund Freud. And I think Eileen is the first one to show up on my screen with the answer. Well done. I think that's right. Yes. Sigmund Freud. When I say I think that's right, I mean, I think I was scrolling up to make sure Eileen was the first one. Yes, Sigmund Freud. Eileen has it. Donald the Gloomy Maine Coon has it. So does Jose Ramirez. And teacher Lori has it. And so does Sandy. Not Australian, Austrian. Austrian without the L. John Watson has it. Sorry if I misspoke there. Teacher Lori has it. Austrian, yes. So does Jose and Donna and Freud. And Freudian was going to say Ton Hogan. Did I say Australian? I'm sorry, you guys. Austrian. The Aussie thing threw me, said Tammy. I'm sorry. Maybe we just scratched this whole question. I would have been wrong either way, said Heather. It's a big difference between Austria and Australia. Yeah, it sure is. Where's Uncle Jim? I need a correction, an official correction. Bring it back. Which British king was famous for having 6 wives? Was it George the Sixth, George the Fifth, George the Third, or Henry the Eighth? Which British king was famous for having 6 wives? George the Sixth, George the Fifth, George the Third, Henry the Eighth. It was, says Uncle Jim, Henry the Eighth. That is correct. And he also was not from Australia. Hilo Karen says, yeah, Henry the Eighth. Nolophidian says it was Henry. So does Eileen. So does Heather. The Eighth, Henry the Eighth. Yes, Eileen has it. So does Donald and Sandy and Tammy and Donna. I think everybody has it. Nolophidian, Gordon, Rhonda, Teacher Lori. Good old Henry, says Mindy. And Granny Great. You guys got it. All right. Next question. Who invented the telephone? Was it Alexander Graham Bell? Was it Thomas Edison? Or was it James Watt? Who invented the telephone? Bell, Edison, or Watt? See who can throw it down the fastest. Look at Hilo Karen. Oh, sorry. Look at Uncle Jim. Here he comes. Bell. Alexander Graham Bell is correct. Hilo Karen has it. So does Eileen. So does Nolophidian. Phineas has it. Hi, Phineas. So does Donald. So does John Watson. So does Tammy and Heather and Chris. Gordon. Yeah. No, we got to have some easy ones in there. Some easy ones, some hard ones. Got to shake it up a little bit. What famous battle did Napoleon Bonaparte lose? What famous battle did Napoleon Bonaparte lose? Yeah, she thought it was one of those 2 easy questions. I know. Hilo Karen says, I always appear first on my screen. What the sizzle? It was the Battle of Waterloo. Uncle Jim has it. That is correct. The Battle of Waterloo. Phineas has it. So does Eileen. So does Tammy. So does Hilo Karen. So does Nullifidian. Valley Star says, I'm getting the answers before the questions. Oh, the internet. The internet is not cooperating at your house. Waterloo. That's right. Zero Sum. Chris Holm. Rhonda has it. So does Donna. So does Gordon. Sandy. Teacher Lori. Toodaloo. Waterloos. That's pretty cute, says Donald. Well done. I almost always get the answers before the question. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. That's internet strange, isn't it? All right. We'll move forward. Who is the British Prime Minister often pictured with a cigar? Who is the British Prime Minister often pictured with a cigar? I can even give you some options. Was it Neville Chamberlain, Earl Russell, Clement Attlee, or Winston Churchill? Churchill, Chamberlain, Russell, or Attlee? Who is the British Prime Minister often pictured with a cigar? And the answer is unanimous. I see. Uncle Jim says it's Churchill. Uncle Jim's right. And Uncle Jim has a fast internet connection. Also, Phineas has it. So does Hilo Karen, Eileen, John Watson. Everybody has it. Look at all this. You guys are so good. Tammy has it. Heather, Chris. Yeah. No, Uncle Jim says I happen to have a low lag connection today. Well, then you're wickedly fast. Absolutely. Good job on that one. We'll do one more of these and then we will move to see how much you know about birds. No, they're all too easy. All of these are too easy. I'm moving to birds right now. These are not so easy, a little more challenging, I think. Which species of bird found in Australia, I mean it this time, is the second largest living bird by height after the ostrich? Which species of bird found in Australia with an L is the second largest living bird by height after the ostrich? See what you got. Bring it to me. You guys knew it, and you are fast. Birds of a feather flock together. Emu, says John Watson. John Watson, are you first right now? Yeah. Emu is correct. An emu is the second largest living bird by height after the ostrich and is indeed found in Australia. So, John Watson has it. First to the punch. Tammy has emu. So does Eileen. Oopsies. Eileen, Uncle Jim, Gordon, Hilo Karen, Agent Kitty Feets, Sandy, Bird is the word. Teacher Lori has it. What the sizzle? Donna, Nullifidian. Excellent. The Limu Emu, says Quesadilla. Emu and Doug, says Phineas. Next question. The smallest of Africa's waterfowl species, the African pygmy goose, is native to what country that also has many lemur species? I think I gave it away with that. The smallest of Africa's waterfowl species, called the African pygmy goose, is native to what country that also has many lemur species? Or species? And the answer is Madagascar, says Uncle Jim. Yes, Uncle Jim. You are batting a million today. Madagascar is correct. Madagascar, says Gordon. Typo, I'll take it. John Watson has it. Chris has it. So does Tammy. So does Donna. Teacher Lori, Sandy. Well done. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give Jim a gold trophy. I agree, Yvonne. Well done. Next question. Like many other birds, the feathers on an owl's body replace themselves about once a year. What's the name of that process or process? Like many other birds, the feathers on an owl's body replace themselves about once a year. What is the name of this process? You guys have flying fingers, says Hilo Karen. Uncle Jim says that would be molting. Uncle Jim, once again, is correct. And first on my screen, Eileen has it as well. So does Sandy, Hilo Karen, Tammy, John Watson, and Gordon, Nullifidian, Heather, Chris. I'll take a typo. Jim has it. Donna has it. Well done. I'm sitting out. Birds is a foul subject, says Phineas. Teacher Lori has it. So does Mindy. Well done. It is molting. How about this one? The little owl. The little owl, sometimes called the owl of Athena, is the national bird of which country? The little owl, sometimes called the owl of Athena, is the national bird of which country? This would be, let's see who gets it first. I think it's a typo, but Eileen says Greece. And Eileen is correct. Eileen gets a first place prize for this one. So does Hilo Karen have it. And Gordon and Sandy and Eileen has it as well. Oh, I thought you had it at the beginning. I'll take it. I'll take your first place answer. Tammy has it. So does John Watson and Nullifidian and Teacher Lori, Greece, Heather, Donna. Well done. Greece is the answer. The state bird of Alaska is the willow ptarmigan, which is a type of what small Arctic bird? The state bird of Alaska is the willow ptarmigan, which is a type of what small Arctic bird? What type of bird is the willow ptarmigan, the state bird of Alaska? You guys are good. Love trivia, having fun, says what the sizzle. John Watson says that would be a grouse. From Greece to grouse. John Watson is correct. It is a grouse. Hilo Karen has it. A grouse is it. It is. Good job. That's a grouse. La Paz Waterfall Gardens in Costa Rica. A really popular choice for tourists to admire the flora and the fauna. This park attracts half of the 52 native species of what small bird? La Paz Waterfall Gardens in Costa Rica, a popular choice for tourists to come check it all out. The park attracts half of all of the 52 native species of what small bird? Mm-hmm. A very cold bird. You guys get it? John Watson, first to the punch on this one. A hummingbird. That is correct. Hummingbird is right. Chris Holm has it as well. Heather has it. So does Jose. Eileen. Gordon has it. Teacher Lori has it. So does Donna. So does Sandy. Yeah, it was the small bird that gave it away. The teeny tiny one. A group of which black birds are kept captive at the Tower of London? According to superstition, the disappearance of these birds from the tower will result in the fall of the crown. A group of which black birds are kept captive at the Tower of London? According to superstition, the disappearance of these birds from the tower will result in the fall of the crown. What kind of black birds are those? Yes. Everybody have it? Is your answer locked in? Hilo Karen says ravens? Yes. Yes, raven is the answer. They are ravens. Hilo Karen has it. Aloha. So does Eileen and Tammy and Gordon. I think there's a difference between crows and ravens, right? Nullifidians has it. Nullifidian, not plural. There is not more than one of them. Donna has it. Raven, says Sandy, and John Watson, and Heather, and Rhonda. It was the raven. Mm-hmm. Here we go. According to Japanese legend, folding 1,000 origami versions of what bird will grant someone a wish from the gods? According to Japanese legend, folding 1,000 origami versions of what bird will grant a person a wish from the gods? What kind of bird do you have to create? And this would be a crane. Uncle Jim has it. Well done. Eileen has it. So does Tammy. So does Sandy. Nullifidian, Agent Kitty Feets, Mama, Gordon, Teacher Lori, Hilo Karen, Chris, Jose, Donna, all a crane. I used to know how to make those origami birds, says Sandy. That's awesome. Avian creatures provide warnings that demonic entities are in the area in what alliteratively named 2018 post-apocalyptic horror film starring Sandra Bullock. I'll try to read it again. We'll see if I get it right. Avian creatures provide warnings that demonic entities are in the area in what alliteratively named 2018 post-apocalyptic horror film starring Sandra Bullock? I never saw this movie. Avian creatures with warnings that demonic entities are in the area. 2018 post-apocalyptic horror film. Sandra Bullock was in it. Do we know what it was called? Anybody see it? It is not The Birds, although close. Heather knows. That was called Bird Box. Ooh, I didn't see that. I mean, I probably wouldn't because horror movie, but yeah, Bird Box is right. Heather had it. I think Heather is first to the punch. Well done. Followed by Eileen. Followed by anybody else have it? Bird Box is the name of the movie. Never heard of it. Yeah, me neither. Bird Box. I liked it, said Heather. Okay. If you like horror movies, maybe you'll like Bird Box. Never heard of it. I'll have to look for it. Sounds interesting. This guy's eyebrows at the bar look like moth wings. Oh no. It is not gory, just spooky and suspenseful. Okay. It was a good one, said Eileen. Two thumbs up, 4 thumbs up for Bird Box. What word means the muscular enlargement in a bird's digestive tract that grinds food, often with the help of stones that this bird, a bird, has sometimes swallowed? This is a word that refers to the muscular enlargement in a bird's digestive tract that grinds food, often with the help of stones that a bird has swallowed. Muscular enlargement in a bird's digestive tract that helps grind food, often with the help of stones the bird has swallowed. A lot of people know the answer. Gullet, gizzard, craw. The answer is gizzard. Gizzard, gizzard. It is a gizzard. John Watson, first to the punch on the gizzard. Followed by Chris Holm and Gordon. Uncle Jim has gizzard. So does Heather. So does What the Sizzle. Teacher Lori has it. Gizzard is what I am looking for. Donna Holm has it. Mama says it's called boucher in Spanish. Don't know it in English. Gizzard in English. In Inglés. Gizzard. That's what a gizzard is, said Sandy. That is what a gizzard is. The weird things you learn on the after party. What bird, that is also the patron animal of the Greek god Zeus, is depicted as a double-headed creature on the official national flag of Albania? I haven't checked out the Albanian flag recently, but this is a bird that's also the patron animal of the Greek god Zeus, and then has a double head on the official national flag of Albania. I have a story about this bird lined up for you guys today. And the answer is, oh, you guys knew it. Uncle Jim says that would be an eagle. Uncle Jim is correct. Eagle is right. Chris has it as well. Thunderbird, says Teacher Lori. I wish that was the answer. Donna has it. It is an eagle. Well done. I love it. All right, we'll wrap up trivia with this one. It's the stage in a young owl's life between hatching and leaving the nest. They go by this other word. Starts with an F. Totally acceptable F word. The stage in a young owl's life between hatching and leaving the nest. What is this word? They are a what? Yeah, they are a fledgling. Uncle Jim has it. Uncle Jim, the speed with which you're typing today is unfathomable. Uncle Jim has it. Nullifidian has it. So does Karen and Sandy and Gordon, fledgling is what I'm looking for. Donna has it. So does teacher Lori. Floof. They're little floofs, says Heather. Mindy has fledgling. Yes, that's correct. Oh, teacher Lori says they could also be called an owlet, I think. This specifically refers to this point because I think they can be called an owlet from birth, right? But this is that specific point between the hatching and the flying away. Perhaps you're correct. Hmm. Well done. Okay. Who the hell do you have for internet, Jim? Yeah, what's your internet service? That's amazing. Uncle Jim says, I must have a good connection. No, maybe this was your jam. These were your questions. I don't know. Well done. And that, my friends, are all young birds are fledglings at this point, says teacher Lori. That is Trivia Thursday after party style. I hope you had some fun playing some bird trivia, doing some things. And speaking of birds, what do I have to show you? There are 2 eggs up at the Friends of Big Bear nest in Big Bear. And the other day, they had a massive windstorm, really, really big. And Shadow and Jackie looked like they were holding on for dear life, trying to protect these 2 eggs. You can see them in the foreground there. Take a look. I don't know if they have the sound.
Of Big Bear.
Oh, I'll turn it off because it's just windy sound in your ear. But watch this as the eagles try to hold on for dear life and protect the eggs at the same time. Kind of inventive. Grabbing on to the twigs with the beak, trying to not get blown away by the wind. Yeah. There's another one. There's 2 eggs in the nest. I was watching the live cam last night. It's so dramatic when one of them flies in and they trade off. Super, super windy up there. I don't know if you saw that. Very, very windy. Check out this. Yeah, almost gets blown over. Wow. That's when the eagle knows it's time to clamp down on these eggs and hang on. In that severe windstorm. The wind gusts, apparently, according to ABC7 Los Angeles, reached up to 63 miles an hour in the mountains around Big Bear. So, yeah, that was a rough spot they found themselves in. But there are 2 eggs. This is the exciting thing. The eggs were protected. The first 2 eggs were taken by predators. These 2 eggs are so far so good. But this windstorm surged through Big Bear. They managed to protect the eggs. And again, the gusts up to 63 miles an hour. The footage we just saw shows the birds holding the nest together to protect the eggs. The strong winds shaking everything around. And then the mother Jackie flies in and they kind of handle it together. So the powerful gusts of wind shaking the foundations of the nest, Shadow using his powerful talons and body to hunker down on top of those eggs and keep that nest from blowing out of the tree. At one point, Shadow literally hangs on for dear life by grabbing the side of the nest with his beak to stop himself from getting blown away by the wind. A pretty serious business. It's not always tranquil and lovely up there. Let's see if I have the live stream of the eggs. Here's cam 1 going on right now. It looks very tranquil up there right now, actually. See if I can throw that up. And that means I have to stop showing you this one in order to show you this one. Here's the live stream of the birds. Let's watch this live stream. There it is. So peaceful. I love the live cams. I'm telling you. I'll scroll back a little bit. I think the sounds are really relaxing too. Take a deep breath. A lot less windy today. That windstorm happened a couple of days ago. Hunkering down. I'm sorry, you guys. I could kind of watch this all day. Probably not what you want to see all day. You could log into this on your own, but I do like watching it together. So here's what's going on up to the minute in the nest. There you go. See if I can get the bird turning around. I don't know. Maybe not. I love when they stand up and you can see the eggs underneath there. Kind of cool. They're so beautiful. I love the head twist. So that's what's going on up at the Big Bear live cam as we speak, and the two eggs they seem to be in a good spot, and everybody's doing all right. But speaking of animals, it's Perry the platypus. We don't know if this is Perry, but it's a platypus. There's something new, something completely unexpected that scientists have just discovered. It's another extraordinary thing about the platypus. We know, venomous. It can sense electricity. It glows under UV light. There's a lot of really cool things about the platypus. And now researchers have discovered something else. In a study in the journal Biology Letters, scientists reveal that tiny pigment producing structures inside the cells of the platypus are more bird-like than mammal-like. The European scientists first encountered the platypus more than 200 years ago. They said that its list of peculiarities continues to grow. The female platypus produces milk but has no nipples. The males have venomous spurs on their hind legs. The animals sense electricity. They glow under UV light. Their cells have 5 times more sex chromosomes than most other mammals. And so researchers wondered if the melanosomes of these animals could be different too. Melanosomes are tiny pigment-making factories found inside certain animal cells. They're very small structures. They're about 1,000th of a millimeter long. They tend to be spherical or rod-shaped. They could be solid or they could be hollow. And for a long time, scientists thought hollow melanosomes only happened in birds, and that mammal melanosomes were always solid. And then researchers at the Ghent University used high-resolution microscopy to look at the melanosomes inside platypus hairs and found they broke all the rules. What? Platypus melanosomes are hollow and they're spherical, and that was totally unexpected. One of the researchers said, hollow melanosomes have never been found in mammals before. The combination of hollow and spherical is not seen anywhere else as far as we know. In birds, hollow melanosomes organize into nanostructures that produce iridescent colors. Hollowness also increases brightness, which helps birds to make more colors. But platypuses aren't rainbow colored. What gives? They're brown. So it doesn't conform with what scientists know about melanosomes' shape correlating with color. So then they were wondering, why? What is going on? Hollow melanosomes were not found in long or short beaked echidnas, which also lay eggs and they're a close relative of the platypus. And they weren't found in any of the other 120 or so mammal species that were studied. So, what is it about the platypus? Why did they have this weird thing? The One of the theories is perhaps that hollow melanosomes could have been an adaptation to an aquatic lifestyle, and then echidnas evolved as a land-dwelling species, so maybe they lost their hollow melanosomes, but the platypuses still live in water, and so they retained theirs. But they don't know. All they know is the platypus once again breaks the rules, and they don't know why. I'm going to credit teacher Lori for this story because she turned me on to this publication called Discover Wildlife, and I love this story. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The platypuses are super cool. It's a story about stamps. Looks like we're going to be paying more for stamps again. There is a push to raise the price of a first class stamp at the U.S. Postal Service to 95 cents. They're looking to raise first class stamp prices to between 90 and 95 cents. Now, the post office facing financial hard times. So the Postmaster General, David Steiner, said at a congressional hearing that the current price of a first class stamp is 78 cents, but they've been struggling with high costs and small volume. Well, not a lot of letters being sent, I guess, anymore. Just junk mail, right? They took a $9 billion loss at the post office in 2025. And they have a 10-year plan to reduce expenses and become profitable again. But Steiner told the House Oversight Committee the post office or the Postal Service is at risk of running out of cash in the next 12 months. So he said, as you all know, there are only 3 things a company can do to improve financial performance: sell more products, raise prices, or cut costs. And on the pricing side, he said, we need to look for higher prices on both our package and our mail products. So raising the price of first-class stamps to as high as 95 cents would largely solve the controllable loss. Still, though, he says it's cheaper than other countries. So, I don't know. 95 cents. I don't think that's too much. This is not Waterfall Wednesday, but how about a waterfall? Would you buy that? It was for sale. Someone's selling a waterfall in Oregon. You could buy this giant waterfall. It was put up for sale on Redfin, and lawmakers were like, wait. We're going to buy the waterfall. It's going to become property of the state of Oregon. Can't be putting this waterfall up for sale. It's called Abiqua Falls. It's a 92-foot vertical drop over a columnar basalt cliff. And this waterfall has been privately owned for more than a century, but they've kept it open to the public. The owner is a nonprofit that supports a community of Benedictine monks. So the monks put it on the market earlier this year, and people got worried. So finally, lawmakers stepped in and approved a $2.1 million sale. They're going to buy the falls and the surrounding land. The president of the Willamette River Preservation Trust, which is a conservation nonprofit, said it's not every day you see a waterfall come up for sale on Redfin with no price. The public was really confused and fearful that this site would then be closed off for the public. It is kind of far out of the way, even though it's only about 30 miles east of Salem, Oregon, state capital, 50 miles south of Portland, but it's got a rough, unpaved road. There's a short, steep hike, so steep that visitors often have left ropes in some spots for assistance. So kind of a hard spot to get to. The Republican state senator whose district includes this waterfall, his name is Fred Girod. He said, Oregon is pledging that Abiqua Falls will continue to be protected and accessible for generations to come. Since 1908, the waterfall had been owned by Mount Angel Abbey. Then it was transferred to the Abbey Foundation of Oregon, which supports the Abbey. In 2022, it was when it was transferred. So to the foundation that supports the Abbey, they said, we just realized it was time, that there's a lot of people that were hiking on the property. And they said, while we welcome that, we wanted to ensure that the proper stewardship was overseeing it. So the foundation put this waterfall and property up for open auction last month. There was no minimum bid, no maximum bid, but they have now accepted the offer from the state of Oregon. The Oregon Parks and Rec Department now has to review environmental and archaeological information before the process can move forward. They say they don't necessarily want this to become a state park because that would mean additional money. But it could be managed by a local or tribal government or a state agency. Abiqua Falls, beautiful but remote, difficult to access. So they say they're concerned about the impact of managing a property like this and what that could have on the already stretched state park system there, given the current budget shortfall. But people say that Abiqua Falls has a sense of spirituality about it and that it's just gorgeous. It sure is. Can you imagine buying that waterfall? I just put a couple of chairs in front of it right there. Just sit there all day and watch it. My waterfall. No, it's good. The state of Oregon bought this waterfall. How about this story? There's a humanoid robot that, it was a human controlling the humanoid robot, I want to say, that got a little bit crazy. This happened in China, where this humanoid robot was terrorizing this elderly woman on the street, and she stood up to it. Finally, the police came and detained the robot. It happened in the city of Macau. This 70-year-old woman ended up in the hospital after dealing with this 4-foot 4-inch robot. The police had to escort the humanoid bot off the busy street. And apparently they ended up reprimanding the man who was operating this android robot remotely. She was yelling back at this robot in the scene you pictured here on the street. "You're making my heart race," she said in Cantonese. "You've got plenty to do. What's the point of messing around with this? Are you freaking crazy?" she said. The woman was walking along the street looking at her cell phone when she realized something was following closely behind her. And so she turned around and found this robot behind her. It was raising both arms as it was scolded by this woman in the video who said, "You almost gave me a heart attack." There was apparently no physical contact at any time between the woman and the robot. So she was taken to the hospital, I guess, for a racing heart, and she was examined and she was released. And then away it went. Yeah. I do have video of the incident. And I think, I want to say, I forget who sent me this story. I think I found this one and then Teacher Lori sent me another one. So that's the still shot of the altercation. And here is the video. And there's the police escorting the robot away. Bye-bye. And of course, it's just some guy, right, that was managing the robot. I think we're going to see more stories like this. And so here's another one. I think this is the one that Teacher Lori sent me. And thank you for the messages that you've been sending. This robot losing its mind at a California restaurant. And there is video, I believe. This happened at a restaurant in, I want to say Southern California. Yeah, it was a Disney themed event at a California restaurant where they have these robots dressed up in orange aprons with the words "I'm good" and an LED smile on its face. And they use these robots to take orders, I believe, at the restaurant. And finally, here's the video. They can't control the robot starts dancing. Like it just can't help itself. It must move. And it takes several people to grab hold of it. Here's what it looks like. I'll take the music off. So then the staff at this Chinese restaurant runs in. She's trying to grab hold of this dancing robot, but it's kind of strong. And she's laughing and good natured about it as she's holding some kind of phone in her hand. I don't know if it's like a controller for the robot, but it's moving around. It ended up breaking a bunch of dishes as it was kind of thrashing about. And then here comes somebody else trying to grab a hold of the robot and pull it back because it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is a little scary, dancing as though it is. There's a third person coming in now to try to help control this robot as the original staff member tries to use her cell phone to control this robot and stop it from doing what it's doing. Which, again, I know that it's just dancing, but what if it was doing something else that was hard to control? These are things to think about. And there it goes. Of course, they try to make the face look friendly. They put a little apron on it, try to humanize this robot. But look at, I mean, finally they're trying to drag this thing away and they managed to stop it. But wow, that's wild. It's got food all over its hands. You can see there, it's got kind of a yellow food thing going on. This is wild. The robot raising its arms, bringing them down on a stack of plates, and then it moves on to just the big freestyle dance, having a good time. And the article in Gizmodo that teacher Lori sent says it's disconcerting to see how much trouble the staff had restraining this robot. And it's also notable that inevitably turning it off appears to require the use of a phone application. No one appeared to have been injured during this situation, but they said it's easy to imagine a small child getting swatted by one of the flailing limbs and the whole thing going from amusing to awful. So, yeah, robot gone wrong at this Chinese restaurant in California. Yikes. Again, thanks to teacher Lori. She knows about stories are right up my alley. Here it is. I mean, she's smiling now. I don't know. It's crazy. It's strong and heavy and awkward. Yeah. So there you go. That's what we got. Little robot situation happening in Southern California. I got a message in a bottle story. Boy, do I love these. This bottle floated from Canada all the way to Scotland, and it only took 2 years. A man walking his dogs on the coast of Scotland found this message in a bottle that had been launched from off of Canada's Prince Edward Island. His name is Mike Scott. He said he was walking with his dogs on a beach in St. Cyrus, south of Aberdeen, a couple of weeks ago, when his Labrador retriever Maggie found the bottle in shallow water. Inside, Scott found a letter sealed in a plastic bag, written in French, dated August of 2024, and it said that the bottle was being launched from a ferry traveling from Prince Edward Island to the Isles de la Madeleine in Quebec. The author of the letter, her name is Annie, and she asked anyone who found the bottle to contact her through Facebook. So they did find her, but they have yet to receive a reply from the person they think is Annie Chison. The profile didn't show any recent activity, so they don't know if she's still active on Facebook, but they're trying. How cool is it to find a message in a bottle? And shall we wrap it up with the lotto of the day? I know I'm pushing it, going a little overtime here. We're rich in the Mark Thompson Show tradition. This is a Delaware woman who was visiting Maryland, decided to buy a lottery ticket. You know, as one does when you're on vacation or far from home. Why not? See if a little shakeup in location will help your luck. This Delaware woman crossed the border into Maryland and bought a scratch off lottery ticket. She was giving her new nephew a ride to Maryland when she stopped at the Royal Farms store in Cecilton and bought a $10 Silver Bell Bucks ticket. When I have a little change, she said, I like to play. It was just one of those days that she said I felt like playing. And the ticket turns out to be a $100,000 top prize winner. So she goes to the Maryland Lottery headquarters to collect her prize. She said she's still considering what to do with her winnings, but she does believe her family will be involved. She said, thank you, Lord, for the 100 grand. A little bit lucky. And thus ends the After Party Live. I really, really hope that you will join me tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific for the Nikki Maduro Show. And that is, again, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's cocktails, mocktails, politics, and we just have a really good time. I really hope you'll join in. Set a little alarm on your phone if you can to remind you to come on in, 5 p.m. Pacific. What is that in Eastern time? 8 p.m. Eastern? Come and join us and hang out. We welcome comments, and we just like you to hang out with us and participate in the conversation. Huge thank you to everyone who contributes to this show. I see you, Wes, coming in today with another $5 via the show PayPal account. Meredith has set up a recurring payment. So has James. So has Jane O. and Vanessa P. Huge thank you to all the ways you contribute to the show. Again, thank you to Teacher Lori for some great stories. Also, Rhonda throwing in some stories this week. Really appreciate you guys. Got another really nice email from Julie. So just want you to know that I see it all. I appreciate it all. And thank you for helping keep this show going. I'll see you in just a few short hours right back here on YouTube for the Nikki Maduro Show. Until then, make it a great rest of your Thursday. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Gemini, actually. Gemini. No, but Julie is a Leo.